Alright everyone, this is Zero Budget Geek, and welcome back to my coverage of the new Shadows over Innistrad and Oath of the Gatewatch cards that were just released on the Steam version of Magic Duels. So, because Shadows over Innistrad and Oath of the Gatewatch were both released at the same time, on Steam, I'm basically covering both sets simultaneously rather than making a multitude of videos. You get to see them all now. So right now we covered white in a previous episode. Right now we're gonna go and look at the blue cards. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, the first blue card we have here is the Aberrant Researcher. Now, I think I've seen this before. 1 blue, 3 colorless. It's a human insect, which is interesting. Humans I've seen already cards in the white cards that make use of humans, so that could be useful. It's an uncommon. He's a 3/2 with flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, put the top card of your library into your graveyard. If it's an instant or sorcery card, transform Aberrant Researcher. So he'll only transform if you get rid of a card with instant sorcery with this ability. So let's see what he transforms into. His perfected form. What does he look like? Let me look at it. Oh, he's very like a human. That's weird. It's a bug human. Alright, anyway, he turns into the fly. Insect heart. Oh, he does. He is flying. A flying 5/4. 4 mana. You have to unless you know what's coming, you're not sure gonna be. But man, if you can get him pretty quickly into 5/4, that's not bad. At 3/2, he's kind of easily dealt with. But 5/4 flyer is nothing to sleaze at. I love the theme on this card. I don't know how great it's gonna be. I'd have to see it in action, but it's very interesting nevertheless. Okay, here we have the Abstruse Interference. 1 blue, 2 colorless. It's a uncommon instant. It is devoid, so it has no color. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. You put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Sign creature token to battlefield. Has sacrificed this creature at 1 to your mana pool. So a counter for 1 for 3 mana is bad. You do get a 1/1 creature out of it, so that's kind of interesting. I don't know how good this is. I'm not crazy. I probably would rather use other counter spells, but at least it's one more counter spell there. I mean, it's good early game, I guess, but it'll lose potency after that. Irregardless, you always get a 1/1 out of it, so I guess that's not terrible, but there's better counters. Alright, we have a Ancient Crab, 2 blue and a colorless for uncommon crab. That's a 1/5. This is a bad. 3 mana for a 1/5 is not terrible, but it's just a defender. His type doesn't lend itself to anything that I know of, so I'll pass. Okay, Blinding Drone, a 1 blue and 1 colorless, an uncommon Eldrazi drone. It is devoid, so has no color, and with 1 specific colorless mana, tap target creature. Now remember, you have to use a colorless mana for this. It cannot just be any color. It has to be colorless mana, and you can tap a creature, and it's a 1/3 itself. Well, a 1/3 for 2 mana is not horrendous. And it does have ability to tap a creature, but you have to use colors. But if you're using this, you're gonna be set up with colorless anyway, so it's okay. It needs a dedicated deck though. Alright, we have here Broken Concentration, 2 blue and 1 colorless, an uncommon instant, straight up counter target spell. Well, that's good. And Madness for 4. If you discard this card, discard it into exile. When you do, cast it for its madness cost or put it into your graveyard. Okay, so either way you get to counter. So it's a straight up counter spell for 3 mana. That's good. Alone, it's good. So I would definitely use this. And it has a bonus madness. If your opponent forces you to discard it, you can do its same effect for 1 extra mana. So we'll have to see what the discarding effects are in this set, and I'm sure those will make it much better, but by itself it's still pretty good. Alright, Catalog, 1 blue and 2 colorless, and a common instant. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card. That's okay. That's not not that bad. The discarding a card is useful because it'll help trigger Delirium, where you have to have 4 of a card type in your graveyard to get Delirium. So if you're using Delirium, this card will be great. If you're not, it's just okay. Still, drawing 2 cards and discarding a card, I mean, that alone is not terrible. For 3 mana, that's okay. That you're basically paying 1 mana per card that you're dealing with, so it's not terrible. I would use it. Yeah, I mean, I would use it probably even in a deck that's not necessarily dedicated to it. Alright, comparative analysis. 1 blue, 3 colorless. Now let's go back to this catalog for a second. Sorry about that. It is an instant, so that makes it really, really useful. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, alright, comparative analysis. 4 cost, common instant, surge of 3. So you may cast a spell for its surge cost if you or a teammate has cast another spell this turn. So if you've played another spell, it's cheaper. Target player draws 2 cards. Oh wow, so this totally makes the oh god, I forget the other card, the one that's same thing and you draw 2 cards. This is really great card. I mean, we use the other one and I can't remember the name right now, where you pay 4 mana for 2 cards. That's perfect. There's a search cost. If you played something else that turn, you get it for cheaper. Not bad at all. I would use it. Now moving on, compelling deterrence. 1 blue, 1 colorless, an uncommon instant. I love the artwork on it. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then that player discards a card if you control a zombie. Ooh. Alright, so for its base ability, returning a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, for 2 mana, we already do that with Disperse, so it's good by itself. And if you happen to control a zombie, then they have to discard a card as well, so you get a bonus. Good card. I definitely would use it. Even if you don't have the zombie, it's still worthwhile. So very good, and the fact that it's an instant makes it a keeper. So probably yeah, this probably is better than the other card I mentioned. Anyway, good card. I like it. Moving on, we have Confirm Suspicions. 2 blue and 3 colorless. It's a rare instant to counter target spell. I love my counter spells, but man, for 5 mana, you counter target spell. Better give yourself now. Investigate 3 times to investigate. So you get 3 artifacts in play that you can sacrifice each for 2 mana to draw a card. Yes, please. I like that. 5 mana to counter, straight up counter spell is great, and you get these three artifacts. Yeah, totally worth it. Art is awesome also, by the way. So nice card. I definitely can see this being used. It's a rare, so you can only have 2 in your deck, and I don't see people using more than that anyway. So I like it. I approve of that card. Next, we have Containment Membrane. 1 blue, 2 colorless. It's an aura enchantment. It's a common. You can pay it for 1 if you or a teammate played another spell this turn, so that's kind of nice. And you can enchant creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, so it'll freeze something. Not bad. Blue needed something like this that's relatively cheap, and if you play something that costs 1, you can play this on turn 2. So I like this card. It's just an aura enchantment, so that's not that great, but it is relatively cheap even without its surge cost. So I can see this being used. Alright, moving on. We have the Erdwall Illuminator. 1 blue, 1 colorless. It is a spirit. Well, we've seen before that spirits are important in here. It is an uncommon card. Uncommon. I need to learn to speak English. Okay, it's a 1/3 flying. Whenever you investigate for the first time each turn, investigate an additional time. Now that is good. We've seen those investigate investigate artifacts that you can get, and this guy lets potentially each one to let you get 2 cards as long as you don't keep sacrificing all on the same turn. So that can be potentially a very powerful ability. A lot of card drawing right there. I like this card. Very interesting, and it is a spirit, so gets a lot of bonus points. Alright, Crush of Tentacles. I've seen this card before. 2 blue, and 4 colorless. It is a mythic sorcery, so it needs to be good. Now you can pay it for 5 mana if you so it's a surge of 5. And what does it do? Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. So that alone by itself is good. For 6 mana it's kind of pricey for that, but you return everything to the owner's hand. And if Crush of Tentacles surge cost was paid, put an 8/8 blue octopus creature token onto the battlefield. So you get rid of everything that's in play and put an 8/8 if you do this right. So you can still play 6 mana if you played something for 1 cost before this. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting card. Kind of a lot of setup just to get it worthwhile, but you know, could be interesting. But you're gonna see this really no earlier than turn 5 or 6. Really, I mean, there may be some accelerators. I'd like to see people use this. It's a cool looking card. I love the abilities and I love the thematic flavor of it. I just don't know how great that is. We have Essence Flux, 1 blue. It's a uncommon instant. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it's a spirit, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So let's see. By itself, it's kind of okay because you can block and then cast it, and you exile that creature, so it won't die. So you can have something little block something big, and it, you know, and it'll survive. And if it happens to be a spirit, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So I mean, this has to go in a spirit deck. I don't see this being used in any deck other than a spirit deck. Though this would be useful in decks with come into play effects. So I can see this abusing that. So maybe this is a little bit better than I give it credit for. And it's only 1 mana, so it's not terrible, but I'm not too sure about that card. Needs a specialty deck. We have the Cyclone Sire, 1 blue, 4 colorless, an uncommon elemental. It's a 3/4 with flying. When it dies, you may put 3 +1/+1 counters on target land you control. If you do that, land is an elemental creature with haste. That's still a land. Alright, so you get a 3/4 flyer. When it dies, you still get a 3/3. So for 5 mana, that's not bad at all, and they're both elementals, so if you have ways to make use of the elemental subtype, that'll be useful. Again, probably better in a specialty deck, though again, 5 mana for 3/4 flyer in blue is not terrible, plus the other effect that you get. So it's interesting. You know, kind of medium on that card, my feeling. Alright, Forgotten Creation, 1 blue, 3 colorless. It's a zombie horror. A zombie in blue. Hey, that goes good with that, what was that other card that we saw? The, compelling deterrence. So already something in the same color that can make use of it. Alright, let's go back to it. Forgotten Creation, zombie horror. Ooh, it's a rare. It has Skulk. This creature can be blocked by a creature with greater power. Interesting. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may discard all the cards in your hand. If you draw that many cards, well, that's interesting because that can help trigger Delirium. So you'll get some crazy shenanigans out of that. Now this looks like it can be a very good card. You have to plan your deck around it and you make use of it, but I see this getting really good. I mean, just for its 3/3 and Skulk, it's kind of nice. You can, because they can't block with, basically they can't block with things that can kill it. So, you know, you can, yeah, I like this guy. I do like it. I want to see what crazy things people pull out with him. But let's move on. We have a Deep Fathom Skulker, 1 blue and 5 colorless. It is a rare Eldrazi, so it's devoid. It has no color. It's a 4/4. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Okay, so 6 mana for 4/4 that lets you draw a card. Interesting, but 4/4 is not huge, so you still may have trouble getting that draw card. And you know, by the time you pay this much mana, they're definitely gonna have some defenders. So not sure about that. However, we do have a cool ability down here for 3 colorless and specifically a colorless, so 4 colorless. Target creature can't be blocked this turn, so you can make himself unblockable. So now his his worth has gone up a little bit. You won't be doing those all on the same turn, but you know, because he won't be attacking when he comes out. But pretty nice. A 4/4 that lets you draw a card, and you can get them in unblocked. So pretty nice. Yeah, nice Eldrazi. All right, here we have the Furtive Homunculus. 1 white, 1 colorless. It's a creature type homunculus, which I've not seen before. It's a common rather, and it has Skulk, so it can't be blocked by creatures with power, with greater power. So it's a 2/1. So you need that's kind of interesting. This would be greater if it had a much better subtype, but by itself it's basically a 2/1 that most of the time can get through unblocked. Nah, not great. Pass. Alright, Dimensional Infiltrator. 1 white. 1 white. Why do you keep saying white? 1 blue and 1 colors. A rare Eldrazi. It's devoid, has no color, has flash, you can play as an instant, and it has flying. So a 2/1 flyer for 2 mana. That's good by itself that you can cast as an instant. But it has a bonus ability. For 2 colorless, target opponent exiles the top card of his or her library. If it's a land card, you may return Dimensional Infiltrator to its owner's hand. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. So if they try to kill it, you can trigger that ability. If they happen to exile a land, then he dodges whatever's gonna kill him. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. He only costs 2 to play, so it's neat. He is kind of small, so it's not that game changing. It's just cute right now. You know, prove me wrong. Maybe you know, I like to see some decks use it, but right now it just seems like it's just cute and not super great. But yeah. All right, Gravity Negator. 1 blue, 3 colors. A common Eldrazi drone. It has no color. It's a 2/3 flyer. When Gravity Negator attacks, you may pay specifically a colorless. If you do, another target creature gains flying until end of turn. Him and another thing flies. That's okay, but you're in blue, so you probably already have flyers. So I don't really see too much worth in that card. I pass on that. Alright, Drown Yard Explorers. 1 blue, 3 colors. A common human wizard. Human is interesting. She looks like Leia there. Princess Leia. It's a 2/4. When it enters the battlefield, you investigate. Get a artifact that you can sacrifice for 2 mana to draw a card. A 2/4 for 4 mana. Yeah. I don't think the clue token is that worth it. Though you can use it with this guy here that makes those artifacts worth more. But I don't know. It requires a specialty deck, so I'm not too crazy about it. Let's move on. Grip of the Royal. This just sounds cool. 1 blue, 2 colorless. It is it's an uncommon instant. A surge. Oh, you can play it for 2 if you played a spell already. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, and you get to draw a card. So let's ignore the surge. For 3 mana, you get a cantrip. It's okay. I mean, this is now. I'll tell you what. This is good for a tempo deck. I could definitely see this being used for a tempo deck, especially with the surge. And you get to draw a card. Outside of a tempo, not too sure about it. But yeah, I'd like to see some people use this. I think you're gonna see this get some play in some tempo decks. I think that's where it's gonna go. All right, we have a Drowned Corpse Trawler here. 1 blue, 3 colors, an uncommon zombie. So zombie in blue again. That makes use of that other card. He is just a 1/1, so his ability better be good. When he enters the battlefield, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. So you get 2 zombies for the price of 1. And for 1 black and 2 colors, target zombie gains Death Touch until end of turn. So, alright, by itself, not a stupendous card, but looks like it'll go good with, I can see this going good with a black and blue zombie themed deck. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's not that great by itself. In a deck designed for it, I think it could be really, really good. Oh, and we have a Planeswalker. Our first Planeswalker we're covering. Jace, Unraveler of Secrets. 2 blue, 3 colorless, a mythic Planeswalker. So you're gonna have one in your deck like most Planeswalkers in here. Alright, his loyalty starts at 5, which is good. You can +1 and you can scry 1, then draw a card. Wow, that's a nice ability. That is a great ability. So first ability already is awesome. Alright, and he's a 5, so he can, you know, yeah, when you play him, he can survive some hits. Alright, his -2 abilities: return target creature to its owner's hand. Well, not as good as outright killing something, but still versatile. You can get rid of temporarily get rid of a big problematic creature, or return one of your creatures to your hand that has maybe some kind of come into play effect. So I can see some good use of that. Alright, let's see his ultimate. -8. You get an emblem with whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, counter that spell. Wow. Now that's an ultimate. Now that is an ultimate for blue. Wow. Very cool Planeswalker. I can see this guy being used. He's probably gonna replace, well, not really, because the other Jace you could play it for 2 mana. But this is gonna, you're gonna see this in blue decks for sure, just for the simple fact that you get to draw cards. So I mean, at the very least, he replaces himself. So if you play him, do his +1, and then he gets killed, at least he replaced himself with the draw card, with the sky draw card. So that alone is worth it. But you know, if he's in play for a few turns, yeah, that could give you a definite advantage. Nice card, I like it. I think you're gonna see a lot of it. Alright, Just the Wind. 1 blue, 1 colorless, a common instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Well, we've already said that that cost for, well, it's specifically a creature, which most often that's what you use it on, so it's not that terrible. But it does have madness. You can, if you are discarding it for whatever reason, you can play it for 1 mana. This is okay if there are some really good discard abilities, then this will get really good. But right now it's just okay. There's better cards around. Alright. Pour over the pages. 2 blue, 3 colorless, an uncommon sorcery. Draw 3 cards, untap up to 2 lands, then discard a card. So draw 3 and then discard 1. Well, that's not terrible. You still get, so let's see, you're drawing 3 cards but losing 2, so you net gain of 1 card. But you do get to untap 2 lands. You still get to play something, so it reduces its cost down to 3, which is not terrible. It's okay. It's a sorcery, so that lowers its usefulness because you have to play it on your turn. So I don't know. Meh. Alright, we're gonna move on from that. Joar, Isle Avenger. 1 blue, 4 colorless for a common Sphinx. It's a 3/3 flying, and you can play it for 3 mana if you cast another spell on your turn. So it's terrible. It's terrible. Even with a search cost, a 3/3. If you can cast it for a search cost, which means you're spending probably 4 mana for a 3/3 flyer, it's just okay. It's not that great. It's just okay. I don't know. I don't like it. Alright, moving on. Press for answers. 1 blue, 1 colorless, a common sorcery. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, but you get to investigate. Another okay card. I like the art, but this would be good in a tempo deck. Very good for a tempo deck. Outside of that, I don't know. Meh. Alright, we have the Lamplighter of Selhoff. 1 blue and 4 colors for a common zombie horror. Well, it's zombie and blue, so that's good. It's a 3/5, which is not bad stats for 5 mana. And when Lamplighter enters the battlefield, if you control another zombie, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Well, that's nice because that'll help with Delirium. Delirium probably, I haven't seen too many Delirium in blue, but maybe in black. I imagine we're going to see a lot of Delirium in black. So by itself, not that great. In a dedicated deck, I could see it, you know, being very useful. moving on. Prophet of Distortion. 1 blue for an Eldrazi drone. Hey, that's always nice, and it's uncommon. It's devoid, so it has no color. It's a 1/2 for 1 mana, which is not terrible. And for 3 colors, you can draw a card. Yeah, I mean, that's not terrible, and the fact that it doesn't tap to do that. So, good early game card and late game. So, yeah, I'd use it. It's Eldrazi, so I'd use it. Alright, Metropolis Sprite. 1 blue, 1 colors for a Fairy Rogue. It's common. It's a 1/2 flyer, and you can give it +1, -1 until end of turn. Meh, that's just okay. That's not really great. Yeah, it's okay. Moving on. Rattle Chains. 1 blue, 1 colorless. We get a rare spirit. It's a 2/1 with flash. It has flying. When Rattle Chains enters the battlefield, target spirit gains hexproof until end of turn. You may cast spirit spells as though they had flash. Alright, so a 2/1 with flying is okay for its cost. It's fantastically priced. So 2 mana for a 2/1 flying with flash is already great, and the fact that you may cast spirit spells as though they have flash is even better. So end of turn you can play this guy, and if you have a bunch of mana and some spirit spells, you can get them all into play as a surprise. So I can see some very neat shenanigans with this, and the card art is really nice. It does need to be in a spirit deck, but I can see this getting some real use. Unfortunately, it's a rare, so you're only gonna get 2 in the deck. So yeah. Alright, Nagging Thoughts. 1 blue, 1 colorless, a common sorcery. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard, and it has madness of 2. So, well, the madness cost and its regular cost are the same, though. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one into your hand, the other into your graveyard. This is specifically for Delirium, and pretty much that's it. It's not that great of a card. In a dedicated deck, I guess it'd be great, but even then, I'm not sure about that. It does replace itself, but you're losing 2 cards for once. I mean, you're spending 1 card. Yeah, you spend this, lose a card, and you're only drawing 1. And you're not even drawing when you look at the you're losing 2 cards just to do this effect. Nah, I'm not crazy about that. Alright, Reckless Scholar. 1 blue, 2 colorless, Human Wizard. Human is good. It's uncommon. It's a 2/1, and target player, you tap them, target player draws a card, then discards a card. Well, the discarding a card would be normally terrible, but with Delirium floating around, it could be potentially great. So it's just a meh card, but in a Delirium deck, this is probably a great card. So moving on. Oath of Jace. 1 blue, 2 colorless. It's a rare legendary enchantment. When Oath of Jace enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. Again, right there for Delirium. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry X, where X is the number of planeswalkers you control. Now this is better than the other Oath that I saw, I think anyway, because you get a continuous scry every turn if you have a planeswalker in play, so it's very conditional. Pretty much most of the time you're looking at this as draw 3 cards and discard 2. Not great. You drawing 3 cards, and then you're discarding 2 cards, plus you're discarding the Oath you played, so you're drawing 3 cards and getting rid of and losing 3 cards. So it's okay. It's just okay. Nah, I don't even know if it's okay. Alright, Rise from the Tides. 1 blue and 5 colors. An uncommon sorcery. Put 2/2 black zombie creature tokens into the battlefield tapped for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Well, by the time you play this, you'll probably have quite a few instances of sorceries, especially with those abilities to discard cards. So this could potentially be a big swing where you can get a lot of zombies into play. So, yeah, it's a terrible card by itself, but in the right deck, it could be good. Pieces of the Puzzle. 1 blue, 2 colorless, a common sorcery. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put up to 2 instant and/or sorcery cards from among them into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. Again, another Delirium enabler, basically. But you do get put up to 2 instant or sorcery cards from among them. So you look at the 5 cards, the chances that you set it up so that there's instant sorceries is not horrible. but you could potentially play this and lose 5 cards to your discard pile, which isn't terrible if you're playing a Delirium deck. So again, strictly a Delirium card there. Roiling Waters, 2 blue and 5 colorless, an uncommon sorcery. Return up to 2 target creatures your opponent controls to their owner's hands, and then target player draws 2 cards. 7 mana to temporarily get rid of 2 creatures and draw 2 cards. It's very pricey. The effect is really nice. I would say it could be win you the game, but you don't want to be drawing 2 cards as your hope to win the game. So kind of iffy on that. It could be good. I mean, I would only use probably 1 in this deck, I'm not sure about this. Judgment is still out on that. Alright, wow, we still got more blue cards to go. Alright, Sleep Paralysis. Alright, I really like the name. 1 blue, 3 colors, an uncommon aura. Common aura rather. Enchant creature. When sleep paralysis enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So what's the other card we had? Was it Dehydration? Was it the same cost? I don't remember. Again, not super great card, but in some kind of tempo deck this could be useful. Enchantments can be a little bit difficult to deal with, so if you play this, it'll probably stick around, but against certain decks, some deck colors, especially white and green, can get rid of this. So and seeing as there's a few new cards to get rid of enchantments, I'm not sure how great this could be. However, in a good tempo deck, this could be pretty good. Alright, we have an Umara Entangler, 1 blue, 1 colorless, a Merg Rogue ally. That's important. It is a common, and it's a 2/1 with prowess. We've seen this before. When you cast a spell, you get a +1/+1 on them. So, yeah, he's pretty much just like the Mage Ring Bully, but he doesn't have the must attack, and the fact that he's the ally makes him a little bit better. So this is a good card. I can't say anything bad about it. It's nice. Alright, Slip Through Space, 1 blue for a common sorcery. It has no color. Target creature can't be blocked this turn, and you draw a card. Why? No, there's probably better things you can do. I don't know. Prove me wrong on that, guys. I think there's better cards to put in your deck. Unity of Purpose, 1 blue, 3 colorless, an uncommon instant, and it has support 2. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Untap each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Now, it's an instance, so you can pull off some neat combat shenanigans with this. Put a +1/+1 counter on each up to 2 target creatures. So you have to have 2 target creatures for this to work fully. It's just okay. I don't know. If you're playing some kind of white-blue ally deck, I can see this being useful. Otherwise, I'm not too sure about it. All right, we have a Stitched Mangler, 1 blue and 2 colorless. It is a common zombie horror. Wow, there's quite a bit of blue zombies. Stitched Mangler enters the battlefield tapped. Why is that? Because he's a 2/3 for 3 mana. That's not terrible. When Stitched Mangler enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during his controller's next untap step. Okay, so they combine 2 cards in one. That old zombie card that came into play tap, and the Frostlinks. So, yeah, this could be good in a tempo deck. Can you make a zombie tempo deck now? I wonder. Not sure, but the enter the battlefield tap is not that terrible, because we already use Frostlinks for this cost plus this, and we get a 2/2. Though it can block. Here we're getting something slightly bigger, but it can't block on the turn it comes into play. I like this card. I think you're gonna see this get play. It might even replace the Frostlinks, so we'll see about that. I'm not sure. I don't know how the enter the battlefield tapped is gonna bother people. It may not that much, so we'll keep an eye on that. Alright, Vessel of Paramnesia, 1 blue, 1 colorless, a common enchantment. You can sacrifice this target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard and draw a card. So, target player puts it. I'm not sure of do you draw a card or does that player draw a card? Because I can see this as a Delirium enabler or helping mill decks. Probably more of as a Delirium enabler. Now I just realized something. Some of those cards that we talked about that let's see, there were a couple of cards that we saw that let you draw cards like this, draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards. I did forget that we have Madness in this set, so the value of those cards could be better, would be better if you have Madness cards in your deck, so keep that in mind. Alright, let's move on to the next card here. We have a Storm Rider Spirit, 1 blue, 4 colorless, a common spirit, a 3/3 flying that you can flash into play. 5 mana for a 3/3 flyer. We've done that before. It does have flash. Alright, not a great card. The fact that it has flash makes it much better because you can play it during your opponent's untapped end step, so you can still keep your counter spells up and then be able to play this. So it's okay. I mean, there's probably better spirit tokens, but you know, it's not, you know, man, I've seen worse cards. Alright, welcome to the fold. 2 blue, 2 colorless, a rare sorcery. It has madness of 2 and X. So when you discard it, you can do this. Now let's find out what the X is. Gain control of target creature if its toughness is 2 or less, so it can take control of weenies. If welcome to the fold madness cost was paid, instead gain control of that creature if its toughness is X or less. So either way, it's gonna get you only 1 creature. If you pay it for its regular cost, it's gonna give you something that's toughness of 2 or less. But if you did it while you were discarding something, like we saw before, you can discard stuff, you can pay X to get something bigger. Well, it's very mana intensive to steal something. However, the good thing about it is that you unconditionally gain control of it. They'd have to kill it or return it to their hand in order to stop this, because once you gain control of it, you know, there's no enchantment to get rid of or anything. So it's a rare, so you can only have 2 in the deck. I think you will only see maybe 1 or 2 in a game. I don't know. It's a potentially powerful card. I'm a little bit skeptical of the cost of it. I mean, to get something that's like, say, a 4/4, you'd have to spend 6 mana plus having done something to make you discard this. So it's very mana intensive. I don't know how good it's gonna be because of that. Alright, we have Sweep Away here. 1 blue, 2 colors, a common instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. If that creature is attacking, you may put it on top of its owner's library instead. Okay, now 3 mana for its first part is terrible. The fact that you can put it on top of its owner's library makes it much more useful. Again, I can see this in a tempo type of deck because it gets rid of the creature and costs some a draw. So this could potentially be a good card in the right deck. And last card, oh, I've seen, oh no, not last card, one more. I love the theme of this card. Okay, Thing in the Ice. 1 blue, 1 colorless, and you get it's a rare horror, and you get a 0/4 defender. So that's not too terrible for 2 blue. I mean, 2 mana in blue to get a 0/4 wall is not bad. Getting an early wall for blue is kind of nice. Thing in the Ice enters the battlefield with 4 ice counters on it. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, remove an ice counter from Thing in the Ice. Then if it has no ice counters on it, transform it. What does it transform into? An Awoken Horror. A rare, is it rare? And it's, yeah, it's a Kraken Horror. When this creature transforms into Awoken Horror, return all non-horror creatures to their owner's hands. Well, that scares everybody away, and it's a 7/8. How many? You'd have to cast 4 instants of sorceries. Would this go good in a tempo deck is my question. It probably could, because it's an early game defense, and then you're probably going to be casting instants and or sorceries like the one we were just looking at. Actually, this is an instant, so you can cast those instants to remove blockers and whatnot and remove counters from this. So I like this card. I think you're gonna see people try to make use of it. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's cool, but that's just me. Probably not the most competitive card in the world because it kind of just sits there for a while. But if you can awaken it, man, 7/8 is not bad, and it returns freaking most things back into back to the owner's hand. So very interesting. I want to see that in action. Alright, and last card here, Thought Harvester. 1 blue, 3 colorless. It's an uncommon Eldrazi drone, and it has Devoid, and it's a 2/4 flyer. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, target opponent exiles the top card of his or her library. So something for a Eldrazi deck. A 2/4 flyer is not terrible for 4 mana. Not bad at all. And the fact that every time you cast a color spell, target opponent exiles the top card of his or her library. So it's kind of interesting. Again, it's for a dedicated Eldrazi deck. Otherwise, it's not that great. But anyway. So that is the blue cards. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. In the next episode, we'll take a look at the black cards on our journey to exploring all the new cards in the Shadows over Innistrad and Oath of the Gatewatch set. So I'd like to hear your opinions on these cards. Let me know where I'm wrong on some of these cards. I know some of these cards I was like a little bit about, but maybe you think that they're better. Go down in the comments and let me know about that. Let me know what you think. And again, I always want to hear your comments. Guys, if you like this video, please give me a like down at the bottom and consider subscribing if you want to see more content from me, Zero Budget Geek. So, anyway, that'll be all for today. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.